So you graduated, did you graduate in 2020 or 2019?
May 2020, so like right at the beginning of the pandemic, sort of.
Wow, you're in the class. Wow.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, so how did you go about searching for jobs? In a pandemic, it can be quite challenging. How did you go out and search for jobs?
Yeah, so people call me crazy, but I literally have applied to over 200 jobs since March up until I got this job, which was, I got it in October. So you just gotta be determined. It's very hard, especially in the pandemic, because nobody's really hiring. I reached out to a lot of stations and they were like, yeah, we're not hiring until 2021. And I was like, I don't want to wait that long. I want to start my career or at least just like shadow or something if I can. So out of the 200 I applied to, I only heard back from 3 stations. And then this is the one that was like, hey, come work for us. I said, I will.
Wow, 200, and you only heard back from 3.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Mhm.
That is like, wow. I'm amazed by that. That's now what's interesting is you applied to over 200. You only heard back from 3. Are you still getting calls to this day now saying, hey, Morgan, are you interested? Because now that's 2021. Are you starting to hear from these people that you applied to?
So I applied to a lot of like Sinclair stations too. So when I did get hired, they sort of looked at the other applications and they were like, oh, we don't need this application anymore. So they like took it offline and was like, thanks for reaching out, but we don't need you. I haven't heard back from any other stations. You sort of have to do like follow-ups, and I obviously haven't done follow-ups since I got this job.
Yeah. What platform did you use for the 200 jobs? So was it Indeed, LinkedIn? Where did you go?
I really liked LinkedIn. That was a good one. And then there's a couple of like broadcasting websites. I forget the name of some of them now, but just like going to either Sinclair Broadcasting or Nextstar and looking at what jobs they had available and just applied on the direct website.
And did you apply for all sorts of jobs? Because right now you're a photographer, but did you apply for writer, assistant? There's a lot of jobs you could probably apply for.
Mm-hmm. I applied to so many different ones, photography, MMJ, which is multimedia journalist, editor, assignment editor, so just like giving stories out to whoever needs stories, production assistant, so a little bit of everything. But I really love what I'm doing right now. I think it's been pretty great.
I'm still getting over 200. That's a lot. And now now I'm curious, how did you tailor your resume to all the 200 applicants? Did you write a template, and then how did you change it for all 200?
So my resume was about the same. Like I had the written one, and then I also had my resume reel and my website. So that has like all my writing, all my photography, all my video. And then the cover letters was sort of just like what I changed to like tailor to the job. So if it was production assistant, put my skills down for that. If it was editing, put what editing software and skills I did for that. So yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, and luckily you found the job. So tell me a little bit about that experience, that phone call or email.
Yeah.
Take me through that experience, what you went through.
So over the summer, I did not want to sit around. So I worked at a golf course back home, and I actually put my 2 weeks in because I wanted to focus on just making my resume better. And I almost bought a camera to like go out and shoot stories and just make myself a better journalist. And then second day after I put my 2 weeks in, I got a phone call that I got the job and they needed me to move in 2 weeks. So it was exciting. It was like at 8 a.m, so very early, but it was fun. And then I sort of just like went apartment hunting right after I got that phone call.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, so you moved to the job. you didn't, a lot of people try to stay in their market, but this was a case where, you had to find a place to live so that you can work in this job. So tell me a little bit about the apartment search, trying to establish yourself in that new location.
Yeah. So I found like a couple of Facebook pages to try to reach out to people and like find friends. I even put on Facebook that I was moving and people commented and they were like, hey, like I know this person in that area. Here's a contact for you. I also talked to my job. I was like, what places should I avoid to not look at apartments? Like, cause I don't know the area. So I didn't want to move somewhere where it was a little sketchy or anything. I live across from a community college right now, actually. So there's people around here my age. I haven't met too many people yet, but it's been nice. The area is super cool. I haven't gotten to explore it too much.
Very cool. Very cool. So the culture can change when you move from different areas. And you probably experienced this a little bit in Bowling Green. It's away from home. Can you tell us a little bit about the differences from, living in Northeast Ohio to living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa?
Yeah. Honestly, like it sort of reminds me of home a lot. Everyone here though is a lot nicer. They have this thing where it's like the Iowa nice, but I honestly haven't met a single mean person out here and it's been like 3 months. Everyone's super chill, very helpful. The environment's a little bit different here. It's more, there's more flat land. It's windier, colder. But not too different.
Very cool. Awesome. So it's changed, but not too much change,
Yeah. And this is the first time living on my own. So that I think was one of the bigger changes.
Yeah. Now that's something we can both relate to. Now, what's the biggest challenge about living alone for the first time?
I personally really like it because I can come home and I'm like, all right, if it's a mess, it's my fault. It's no one else's. But I do miss being greeted when I walk in the door, like either from my dogs or I was living with my parents and my siblings. And then before that, it was roommates. So I would always have someone to talk to. But now I just put on music, jam out.
Yeah. Yeah. And even I'm like thinking about getting a cat because I live alone too. I'm like, you miss that human connectivity when you're out there on your own for the first time. All right. So tell me a little bit about your job. So you're a photographer there. Take us through a typical workday.
Yeah. So every day is sort of a little bit different, which I really like because I'm not a person that can sit still very long. But so I go in, I check my emails. Well, I start my day at 1:30. My day starts from 1:30 to 10:30, so it's a little bit of a different shift. So I go in, they usually have me write a story right when I get there, and then we have a meeting at 2:15, sort of just to talk about everyone's progress through the day. And then there's a show at 5 and 6, so I usually go out with a reporter and film their live shot. Or if they don't need me for that time, I go out and get B-roll for the 9 and 10 o'clock newscast, because that's when it starts to get darker for like the later shows. So then I have an hour break between 6:30 and 7:30 usually. I call home because that's when everyone's awake. And then I usually write another story or two for the website. I enjoy helping out with that because if they need me, I don't want to just sit around. And then for the 9 and 10, go out and shoot live with a reporter. And then I come back to the station, put all my stuff away. So it's a fun time. I go to different locations, so it's nice to sort of see the area around here and get to know it a little bit.
Very cool. Awesome. And you have a very interesting shift.
Yes.
Can you talk to us a little bit how you prepared for that change? Because I think most people are used to the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
How did you shift from 9 to 5 or a normal day to that other shift?
So the first month I was here, it was like 9:30 to 6:30 that I was working. And then they said, we need someone for night side. And I said, you know what? Why not? Like, it's winter time right now, so there's not too much going on. anyway. It gets dark early, so I just come home and go to sleep anyway. So it's nice because in the morning I can do doctor's appointments. I go grocery shopping, do what I need to do this, which is nice. But honestly, the shift wasn't too bad. It was just the sleep schedule, getting used to changing that up a little bit.
Very good. Cool. All right. Well, now that you've been there now for about, what, 4 months?
I just had my 90-day review, so 3 months out here.
90 days. Cool. Very good. Congratulations, Morgan. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.